Thank you, Your Excellency, for sharing your insightful and inspiring comments. I would now like to invite Mr. Vincenzo Acquaro, Chief E-Government from United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, to share his keynote address.
I am delighted to see that the Open Government Data Forum held in Abu Dhabi these 2 days is under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Hamza bin Zayed Al Nahyan, National Security Advisor, Chairman of Emirates Identity Authority Board of Trustees. I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to His Highness. I would also like to thank my co-sponsor, His Excellency Dr. Ali Al-Khoury, Director General, Emirates ID Authority, for his partnership for this event and his friendship. Honorable guests, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, before I begin my presentation, I would like to add my words of welcome as the co-sponsor of this event. As you will see in my presentation, one of the United Nations DESA's mandate is support member states in enhancing their respective public administrations. In the Division of Public Administration and Management Development, which I am part of, we have taken this mandate one step further by developing and focusing on the niche of the e-government. Earlier this year, the Emirates ID Authority and UNDESA entered into a partnership of a mutual support and collaboration. His Excellency, Dr. Ali Al-Khoury, personally came to New York to sign the Memorandum of Understanding and the project document entitled E-Government Initiative for Emirates ID Authority. UNDESA sees this forum as a beginning of several capacity-building initiatives that should be undertaken in the Gulf Cooperative Council countries. The GCC countries are in a process of fully implementing their respective e-government strategies, and UNDESA is a partner in many of the GCC countries to provide support to reach those e-government objectives and outline it in their respective strategies. As the Emirates ID Authorities is one of the leaders in the area of national ID, with its biometric-based national ID card and its strong vision toward the future, UNDESA felt that this was a natural partner that will strengthen the region as a whole. One of the objectives of the forum is to share the experiences from our knowledgeable speakers in the area of open government data, focusing on successful activities and services. Open government is still at early stages in all countries in the GCC, and thus this forum hopes to build on the awareness and develop a stronger partnership between citizen and state. This is the calling card of open government data, allowing citizens to have greater access to data, services, and knowledge that they did not have before, creating an environment of openness and thus transforming the administration. As citizens become more involved in the direction that government is leading, this build stronger policies and services. We firmly believe that the citizen should be at the center of development. I really look forward to some fruitful discussion and the sharing of ideas in this forum. And now we'll start my presentation. So, next slide, please. Okay, so this is just to show you how complex is the United Nations system. And United Nations is an international organization founded in 1945 after the Second World War. The three main pillars are to support and to work on human rights, peace and security, and development. Next. Okay, so it was a small circle that is about the Secretariat of the United Nations that carry out the diverse day-to-day work of the organization. It services the other principal organs of the United Nations and administrates the programs and policies laid down to them. And part of the Secretariat is DESA, Department of Economic and Social Affairs. DESA mission is to help countries around the world meet their economic, social, and environmental challenges, and DESA work tasks in many forms. To bring together the international community to address economic and social challenges and conferences and summits, supports the formulation of development policies, global standards and norms, monitors and supports the implementation of international agreements, and assists nation states address their development challenges through engaging in a variety of capacity development initiatives, and analyzes, generates, and compiles a wide range of data and information on development issues, and produces flagship publications and major intergovernmental reports. Reaching the United Nations Millennium Development Goals has been an integral focus of DESA work and informs many aspects of the department's program. At the 2015 deadline for achieving the goals approaches, DESA is now working with a range of partners to build on the MDGs and help create a vision for the future that puts people and planet first. Part of the effort includes following up of the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, called Rio Plus 20, and elaborating a set of sustainable development goals. Okay, this is about my division, the United Nations DESA Department of Division of Public Administration and Development Management, and the mission is to assist member states of the United Nations in fostering sustainable, efficient, effective, transparent, accountable, clean, and citizen-centric public governance, administration, and services through innovation and technology to achieve the internationally agreed development goals, including the MDGs. The strategies to achieve the expected accomplishment, with particular attention to issues of public administration, innovation, and good governance in advancing sustainable development, is based on an integrated approach, and is based on the three normative work, support for intergovernmental processes, research and policy analysis, and capacity building and advisory services. Next. In line with the overall mandate of the division, the e-government branch mission is to provide support to member states to build capacity in the area of innovation, electronic government, and transformation of government to foster sustainable development. E-government branch undertakes activities at the global, regional, and national level in support of developing and least developing countries through normative work, analysis, and research, as well as capacity building activities. Next. Within DPADM, the EGB comparative advantage is to be a global convener of innovative ideas and practices on e-government and innovation. EGB has established its comparative advantage based on accumulated in-depth knowledge on e-government from its normative and analytical work and global experiences in operational activities with outstanding results and good practices. Strong knowledge base through its networks of experts and institutional partnership, distinguished added value in the work of the United Nations Development System through its contribution of the post-2015 development agenda and other relevant committees and group of sustainable development. Next. The strategy to achieve the expected accomplished with the particular attention to issues of innovation and e-government in advancing sustainable development is based on an integrated approach on the three pillars of the division that I mentioned before: the normative work, research and policy analysis, capacity building, and advisory services. EGBA has adopted a holistic approach to its work to ensure integration of the three main pillars, that is linking normative work with analysis and research, which feed into our capacity building, which in turn reinforces our analytical work and research, creating a virtuous cycle. Next. Okay, let's go something more concrete. In terms of analysis and research, the e-government branch generates, compiles, and analyzes a wide range of data and information on development issues and produces flagship publications and major intergovernmental reports. Let me highlight here the United Nations e-government survey, a data flagship published every 2 years. Started in 2001, the United Nations e-government survey became a flagship product of UN DESA with over 1.5 million of hits for the last edition, the 2012, representing the only global publication listing a comparative assessment of global e-government development in 193 countries, including indicators, strategies, tools, and best practices. The data is used extensively and cited by renowned organizations such as the World Bank, the OECD, Economic Intelligence Unit, European Union, the World Economic Forum, International Telecommunication Unit. Next. No, please, back. No, if you go back. Yes. The e-government survey presents a systematic assessment of the use and potential of ICT to transform and reform the public sector by enhancing efficiency, effectiveness, transparency, accountability, access to public services, and citizen participation in 193 member states of the United Nations at all levels of development. By studying broad patterns of e-government around the world, the report identifies leading countries in e-government development and suggests a way forward for those countries that have not yet taken full advantage of the use of ICT to enhance service delivery for public administration. This is the reason why the e-government survey, in particular its ranking, have been adopted as useful and comparative e-government benchmarking tool. However, much more important than benchmarking is the fact that the UN survey has been utilized by member states as a tool to guide policies and strategies on how governments can overall improve public service delivery and bridge the digital divide. E-government survey is based on a comprehensive survey of online presence of all UN member states. It assesses the technical features of national portals as well as the e-government policies and strategies applied in general and by specific sectors for the delivery of public administration services. The results of this assessment are then integrated with data provided by ITU and UNESCO to rate e-government performances through a global index called the United Nations E-Government Development Index, EGDI. E-government survey also provides a global ranking of countries. Next. The 2014 survey, which is expected to be released in the second quarter of this year, I think I strongly believe that we will release in May, addresses the main emerging trends and issues on e-government, including e-participation, all of government, multi-channel service delivery, expanding usage, digital divide, with the perspective of vulnerable groups, and open government. That is part of this forum discussion. Instead of going in depth on this technical sub-theme, let me spend few minutes of this presentation to explain more about the rationale of this research, the overall framework, And about some findings. Let me anticipate some findings that you will find in the report. Next. The theme of the 2014 edition of the United E-Government Survey, E-Government for the Future We Want, is indeed particularly relevant to addressing the multi-faced and complex challenges that the society faces today. The Millennium Development Goals set by world leaders more than 10 years ago have made a huge impact on the lives of billions of people. As the United Nations continue to promote prosperity, equity, and peace beyond 2015, a global debate has begun to define a concrete sustainable development framework that embodies these bold, ambitious, and universal values. Good governance, underpinned by well-functioning public administration, is the cornerstone of present and future sustainable development and is essential in providing people's life for the future. In today's information age, the public sector aimed at economic, social, and environmental challenges must deliver improved prosperity and well-being which meet citizen needs at cost that can be sustained. Reinventing and reforming public administration is seen a positive and necessary way forward. And because technological innovation, especially ICT, underpins institutional transformation in the modern age, government leaders have a critical role to play in this sustainable development process. Next. Let me share with you a few outcomes which could contribute to this forum discussion today and tomorrow. It is clear that e-government development can contribute towards the post-2015 development agenda by strengthening national capabilities and resilience, regional and national networks and mechanisms, and a stronger voice of citizens in global, regional, and local negotiation and policy making. ICTs have proven as effective platforms to facilitate knowledge sharing, skill development, transfer of innovation, e-government solution, and capacity building for sustainable development among countries. By enhancing collaborative approaches, state-of-art technology, and knowledge transfers, sharing of success public policies and expertise, building and sharing capacities, e-government can make an important contribution to achieving sustainable development. In the same vein, countries that have a more vibrant information society are able to better leverage human talent and ICT services for improved e-government performance. Based on 2014 findings, worldwide, good progress in e-government has been made, including increased e-participation, growth of the mobile channel, expanded use of social media, and open government data. Next. However, although there are numerous inspiring exceptions, many challenges remain, such as continuing poverty and inequality, stubborn digital divides, and the inadequacy of institutional change process and lack of inspiring e-government leadership. Addressing e-government challenges is often dependent on the national capacity for change and innovation, which itself largely determines the success of the e-government goals. The effective approaches and modalities, as well as the comparative advantages of all of government approach, should be considered in forming future framework for e-government development. Commitments to openness, transparency, accountability, and participation, backed by freedom of information provision and efforts to tackle corruption, are also critical. Above all, putting in place the policies and the technologies to strengthen collaboration, both with the public sector and with the relevant actors outside, such as businesses, civil society, communities, individual citizens, is the way forward. In addition, effective regional cooperation will support governments in their changes and advance e-government development. Next. E-government, therefore, should not only be seen as a single practice, but as a holistic process to transform government. Government's actor, the globe, needs to undertake a process of transformative change, and this in turn requires that governments to become catalysts for change instead of mere service providers, become facilitators in promoting networked co-responsibility among all stakeholders by engaging and empowering communities to take part in the solution of their own problems, allow for a competitive rather than monopolistic approach to provision of public goods and services, become entrepreneurial in generating revenue and promoting partnership, results and quality-oriented and customer-driven, proactive instead of reactive, anticipating problems and acting preventively, make full use of opportunities afforded by ICTs and e-government, learn and enhance capacity building through increased knowledge sharing. These transformative changes entitle not only the design and implementation of innovative practices in public governance, but also, and more fundamentally, a transformation of government's roles, functions, institutional framework, and process. Next. Okay, just a few words about capacity building activities that EGB undertake capacity building activity through workshop, training, and advisory services on the field to transfer knowledge to developing, emerging, and developing countries. And this initiative is part of these capacity building activities. Next. Next, that was just a sample of many projects that we are dealing. I just want to spend really 1 minute just to share with you few results of the forthcoming e-government survey 2014. I will share some trends. So, next. This is about trend lines of regional e-government development from 2003-2014, based on our knowledge base and our research. As you can see, on top, still Europe, and then after Europe, we have Americas. Americas is not only United States, Canada, and Latin America, South America, and Caribbean. Then we have Asia and Oceania, and on top, on the bottom, unfortunately, we have Africa. There remains a wide disparity among regions of their states on e-government development. Africa faces the greatest challenges. The less steep slope shows the slowest progression and underlines its lagging position. Next. Okay, this is the details about Africa. Next. Next, yeah. Asia. You can see on top we have on top is the Central Asia, then Asia, and then we have the Western Asia, that is the blue one. Look at the slope, it's very interesting how progressive it is. And then the other sub-regions are a little bit below the average of the world. Next, this is about Europe. That's remain on top. But I think next, this is about Latin America and Caribbean without US and Canada. So you have the world and then you. But I want to share with you next. Oh, this is about MENA country. And you can see the MENA average that is a little bit higher than the world. But I want to show the last one, I think is the one that makes more interest in all of you. This is about Gulf Cooperation Council members, GCC countries, trend lines of e-government development. Very impressive. The GCC countries show an extremely fast growth in their e-government index, rapidly catching up with Europe. If you look at the slope, they started very low in 2000, almost 2001, 2002, but look at the slope. They are really reaching the most advantaged countries. This is a very, very impressive result. Congratulations. And since 2003, GCC has surpassed Asia and the world AGDI mean. So with this, I conclude my presentation. All the data, the ranking, and all the information trends about the government will be available soon on the e-government survey 2014. And I hope we will release very soon. It's just an issue of a few days. Thank you very much, and sorry for I took so much time.